tired, unmotivated, exhausted, fatigue, chronic fatigue. I've had them all. So I'm very aware of what's going on, and I'm here to share with you the possibilities. I've had all the possibilities. So let's begin. There's 5 different reasons. I'm going to count 5. One is, of course, your diet, right? What are you eating? So to share with what I was going through, I used to party a lot, so my body wasn't detoxed. And although I ate healthy, sometimes there's certain foods that create us to just be exhausted. The body's working extra hard. When the body's working extra hard, you're going to struggle and the body's going to get tired. So when I cut out grains, and I started with gluten, it works for some people. It worked 20 years for me. When I cut out bread, pastas, I even cut out rice and oats. Yeah, you know what? I didn't cut out rice because I still ate sushi, but I did go, instead of eating sushi, I was eating sashimi without the rice. And that's when I was like the most cut up and in the most shape at that time. Again, 20 years ago. So your diet, what are you doing? You can go to a keto diet. You can go to a all protein diet. You can go vegan. You've got to try different things. But when you give up, you're settling for thinking that you're supposed to be tired. Nobody needs to be tired. Nobody should be tired. There's something in the way. So you got to look at your diet. Now, when was the last time you did a detox? Doing a detox, this hair keeps getting in my way. Detoxing. There are different detoxes. Not all detoxes work. There are detoxes that I've done detoxes for 3 months, just juicing and taking certain herbs and things. And I didn't lose any weight. I juiced for 90 days, taking products to clear out the gallbladder, liver, and kidney. Now, mind you, it didn't work for me. It doesn't mean it doesn't work for everybody else. I mean, I've had a lot of things that I've tried, and it worked 20 years ago. This last 10 years, nothing is working. So I'm going to tell you what was going on with me in a second. So back then, it's diet, cleaning out your intestines and your organs, doing an organ and bowel cleanse. Are you pooping every day? Yes. I was listening to something today. They were talking about pooping. People have to make an appointment to poop because they're so busy they don't even go to the bathroom and eliminate. If you're holding on to the garbage in your gut, your poop, you're going to, it's like toxins. It's like, you know what the trash smells like when it's been sitting there for 4 days? Or if you haven't pooped in 4 days, you're tired. That's going to make you tired. A baby would be sick if they didn't poop, you know. You know an animal and a child has to poop. What are you doing? And if you're not pooping, you're not drinking enough water. How pathetic that you need this attention. Go do something. This is my job, Jeffrey. I'm a health coach. Jeffrey, why are you here? How pathetic. But thank you. I love you anyways. Truth. So drink water. Jeffrey, I'm a little surprised. There's nothing wrong with this life. I teach people how to heal themselves. Do you have a problem with me doing that? That's something within inside you that maybe you need to get a life and stop watching people. So, but you know, you can stay here. I don't mind. Some people are just that way. I know. Because they're unhappy that they're not making money on YouTube, I guess. Oh, so hi guys, over here on TikTok. I am on TikTok. Yes, trolling across multiple channels. Is that what they do? Again, I'm still new. Okay, so we got, why are we tired? This is what we're focusing on. Why are we unmotivated? Why do we scroll? Why do we waste time and not live life and have everything that we desire? So drinking water and pooping every day. If you're not pooping, That could be why you're toxic and your body's inflamed and you don't feel good. Drink more water. Maybe massage your stomach. Change your diet. Put more fiber in it. I see a lot of people eat a lot of carbs, but not a lot of fiber. Like I love coleslaw. Thank God my son loves coleslaw. I ate a lot of coleslaw while I was pregnant. So we love coleslaw, and coleslaw is a good one, but I use Italian dressing. I don't use the sweet stuff that they put on there. I did, well, so I don't, you're asking me to go on a fast. I've done fasts. I did that 20 years ago. So this is what I'm talking about, being tired. I'm not the one that's having the problem. How do you feel about fasts? So I used to fast. My mom would put me on fast when I was in like 7th grade for 3 days. We'd take fiber pills. I didn't have any issues back then, but this was for her and she needed me to go along with her. My son would die if I made him starve for 3 days. I believe in it, but it didn't do anything for me. Now, mind you, when I was working on losing weight and having more energy, I went on a juice diet for 90 days. I lost nothing, but I'm going to get to why in a moment. So like I said, some things work for some people and some things, hi, Stephen, some things don't work for another. What poisons you can work for me. So diet, doing your cleanses, drinking water, pooping every day. I've even been poisoned on vitamins. So I know my body can produce everything as long as I'm eating right. And it wasn't that the vitamins, at the time when I was taking the vitamins, I think I was drinking a lot of alcohol. So my organs needed to be cleansed, like my kidney and liver. And so that's when I was younger, in my 20s. If those pills were to be taken now, those vitamins, it may be a little different. So we've got diet, pooping. Pooping is part of the diet. Drinking water, changing your diet, getting off the carbs. What's going on in your everyday life? Are you stressed? Stress, if you hate your job, if you hate your partner, or if you're unhappy with your partner and you're unhappy with your job, let me rephrase that. That's going to make you tired. That's going to put a lot of wear and tear on the body. It's going to make you unmotivated. It's like, God, where am I? I'm not doing anything. I'm not excited. You got to release the stress. And if you're not releasing the stress, you're absorbing it in the body. So the one thing I share is how to communicate with the body by letting go of the stress every single day. Hi, Bambi. Hi. Same shit, different. Hey, Steven. So I'm letting you know that I am on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. I was going 1 hour here and 1 hour there, and it was too much work. So I was tired after all that talking. So, all right. Stress. How are you releasing your stress? If you are drinking, what's your DM like? DM. Is that like people asking questions? I'm not sure what DM is. I'm sorry. I know they DM you in Messenger on Facebook, but I don't know what the DM means particularly. Anyways, so when you're stressed and you're not letting go of your stress, drinking, smoking pot, eating is not letting go of your stress. Exercise lets go of your stress. Letting go, but I'm going to share, I exercise every day, and although I'm not stressed, my body was stressed out, but that's me. It's different. What's the topic? The topic today is fatigue, tired, unmotivated, and why. So I shared, let me just go over it really quick again because people are going on and off. Diet has a lot to do with it. Detoxing. Did we get to parasite cleanse? How long has it been since you've done a parasite cleanse? We all have parasites. I'm not saying you can get rid of all of them because the body has parasites, candida, bacteria, and there's things growing in us, but it's contained and it's balanced. But when we throw the balance off by eating and drinking too much, eating too much sugar, it throws off the balance of the parasites, and that's why they get out of control. And like us, the human race on our planet is taking control and ruining. It's like we're in somebody's stomach in this planet, What's your exercise tutorial? Well, so where I'm talking about why people are tired. So the parasite. So back to stress. What are you doing about stress? Stress is going to make you tired. And instead of stressing every single day about the same thing about your job, think of something to come up with solutions. Because if you're going to keep stressing about it, you're going to make the body sick. I know many people that have come to me, they will go into their job hating their job. Well, but there's a reason why you got fat to begin with. And if you were here at the beginning, change your diet. So mindset has a lot to do with, bet you're looking like an angel in the 80s. Thank you, Harley. And in the 90s too. Exercise is not a mystery. So I exercise every day, but we're not talking about me. And I did have the washboard stomach, and I did eat right, but I was still tired. And so we're going to get to that in a minute. And I did go to the bathroom every day. I only drink water. I ate cooked foods. I work better on cooked foods. I did eat a lot of coleslaw. That was my favorite. But so one of the main topics is stress. So if stress is, I hate my job. So I have a client that I worked on. Yeah, I don't eat processed food. So processed food is part of the diet that I talked about like 5-10 minutes ago. But stress is the main one that makes you eat all the junk food, stress in your life. So you may not have even stress in your life, but you're stressing the body out. You may be stressing by looking in the mirror thinking, I'm not good enough. I'm not happy. I'm a failure. I mean, whatever you're going through is going to make your body malfunction and do different things like feel tired, right? Hi, Steven. Hey, Jamie, thanks for being here. Cajun, if you have to open a bag of or can, don't eat it. I eat a bag of vegetables. Are you saying vegetables? I shouldn't eat the vegetables? I know you're joking, Cajun. So a client came to me going to work, stressed, going to work every single day. And he didn't understand why his body started hurting. And I'm like, well, you're telling yourself you hate your job. If you're telling yourself you hate your job, your body's going to start listening. The universe is going to say, hey, you hate your job. You hate how much money you make, so we're going to make you sick. Canned water. Do they have canned water? I know it's bottled. So bottled water is actually poisonous in the plastics. Yeah, let's talk about that one later. I'm working on fatigue. So he was getting sick and laid up in bed. His back went out, his emotions, he was just like lethargic, and he's like, I'm tired, something's wrong with me. And by the time he came to me, because he changed his diet, he saw the doctor's like, you're tired, you're old. And hi, Jen. And what I shared is, what are your thoughts when you're going to work? If you have no energy going to work or leaving work, what are your thoughts during the day? So that's like number 4. What are your thoughts? Your thoughts are, I hate my job. I don't make enough money. And all those thoughts every single day is going to drain your energy. And instead of having those thoughts, start thinking about, how can I feel better about my job? Now, if you're going to sit there and tell me I can't feel better about my job, then you're at the wrong place, because I can't help somebody that wants to complain about their job. I eat my vegetables fresh, not out of a bag. Good, Cajun. Do you have any health issues? You know what? That reminds me. I should go to the market today. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to the farmer's market. It's open this morning. I always miss it on Thursday because I'm here and then I forget. Hi, do you want to be Muslim? No, I like being who I am. I'm an American, and I'm happy. So if a Muslim's here in America, does that make them an American? To me, that makes no sense. I don't get it, but that's another story. So what are your thoughts? Remember, your thoughts create most of your reality, which makes you eat unhealthy. I did until I started eating carnivore and found what vegetables I could digest. Yeah, I didn't do well on the carnivore. I did when I was younger. In Pakistan, many are Muslims. Okay, Mafia. Had tons of autoimmune issues all gone. From eating vegetables? And are they raw or cooked? Are you talking about, I'm sorry, Cajun, was that on the carnivore? Let me read this. I did until I started eating carnivore and I found what vegetables I could digest. So what you're saying is, yeah, I eat fresh vegetables or cooked vegetables. I cook them all myself and meat. But are you saying that the process, I understand processed foods, but are you saying, hello from Utah, hi Scott, red peppers and hummus? I don't do well on like onions unless they're cooked or peppers unless they're cooked. But Cajun, are you saying that when you ate vegetables you felt better, or you felt better on the carnivore diet? So yeah, diet has a lot to do, but when you start feeling tired and you haven't figured it out, you've got to look at your thoughts. And so once this person started coming up with solutions, that was sick and having back injuries and muscles, just muscle pain, aches and pains, he started feeling better when he started changing his thoughts, like coming up with ideas. So what I do is I share, you got to come up with ideas instead of complaining about the same thing over and over again. When you complain, it makes the hurricane grow, and it will tear your body down. The pain in your body, the exhaustion, the overwhelm, even the anxiety can be your thoughts saying, I hate my job and I don't want to go to work. I don't want to work. And every time you say, I don't want to go to work, I don't want to go to work, I hate my job, your body's listening and it starts shutting down. It starts being lazy, unmotivated, tired because of what you're saying. Stop saying what you're saying and start saying, how can I have motivation? How can I have energy? How can I get a job that I love? There's thousands of jobs out there. I've tried them, not thousands, but like 50. And I always come back to being a therapist of helping people. I've tried to sell the Amazon thing. I've tried to work with millionaires with investment banking. I'm supposed to be a healer and teach people, guiding them to communicate with their body. So I did the physical part of the body for 40 years, working on the body, kind of like a kinesiologist, or what do they call that you would know the term. So I'm not sure if you know what kinesiologist is, or a Rolfer. So Rolfer is the deepest type of massage that aligns your body. So I was a Rolfer and massage therapist. Eating, let me see what I'm getting behind here. Hello from Utah. All symptoms went away once I did. Okay, so the symptoms went away when you did carnivore. I hear that quite often. Then slowly added vegetables. You know, it didn't do anything for me. By the way, your eyes are gorgeous. Thank you, Jat. Go in the sun, put your hair, feet, grass. I do that every single day. I do that every day. I only at the time was working 4 hours a day. Now I maybe work 5 hours. If you feel tired, drink coffee. Coffee. So for me, I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm a tea drinker, but I didn't drink tea for the first between 20 and 50. I didn't start drinking tea until I was 50. I was a water drinker, unless I was drinking alcohol in the evenings. So coffee does nothing for me, sorry to say. What makes everybody else have energy, like diet pills? I ate twice as much, so it doesn't work. I was programmed to do the right thing, to teach people. Needless to say, people have more energy than me in my younger days because they drink coffee. But I had more physical energy. I did 8 hours of working and then went and rode my bike 60 miles a week. So I have like physical energy, but I didn't have like the energy to hang out with people and do things. I guess I'm more like, I like being out in the sun and doing stuff by myself. Everyone hates their job. I never hated my job. I never hated my job. I was self-employed at 19 and I hated the people I worked with. So I do hear that people love their job, but they hate the people they work with. How do you get away from that? Good thing I didn't work in the same place every day. I had 3 different offices. I used to work at a hotel for like 8 years in between building my clients. This is a life of sacrifice. There's no utopia that comes after this life. So I've learned to love my job. I've always loved my jobs. I loved being a waitress. I loved it. I got to eat free food. Who wouldn't love that? I mean, I loved the job. I had a job working in a resort. I got to wear shorts and tennis shoes. So it's the way you look at your job. A lot of people did complain about it. Which investment bank did you work at? So I worked with, well, first of all, I worked at Sex and Mortgage, which was, gave loans, like hard money loans. I'm not sure if you're familiar. They closed down. Guide them to Jesus. He heals the soul. You know, if that was true, all those people that were going to church to forgive their sins would be fine, but they struggle and they're unhappy. I know they need guidance. That's why they go to church. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. I get a little behind here. LMT has entered the chat. Let me talk. No, I don't know what that means. How do you spell that? T-H-A-T. Wait, T-H-A-T? Is that how you spell that? Is that what you mean? You're supposed to reproduce the materials, conditions for your own continued exploitation. Green eyes like me. Kinesiology. Yeah, kinesiology is muscle testing, if you're familiar with that. So the body does not lie. This is what I would teach people. I do it either with muscle testing, but I found with communicating with the body is easier than muscle testing. Pay for the gym membership, dance. I do that every day. And are you sharing that that's what other people should do? Yeah, I see people at the gym, but they're not losing the weight. Start from there. Fix your body. Foundation for other components. Get Black Rifle coffee. It works. Now, caffeine doesn't work for me. I'm seriously telling you, people always tell me to try these things. I have to do it with my thoughts. So my thoughts have kept me. The thoughts. A part of me was protecting myself. So this is where your thoughts have a lot of control, your subconscious. People do legal speed Adderall. So when they tell you that speed doesn't, when somebody takes speed, it actually calms me down. So they told me that I was ADHD. And I am pretty hyper. And I wake up like singing and dancing, and my son hates it. Everybody hates it. If they haven't had their coffee yet, they don't want to be around me. You're a unicorn. That's why you love your job. Is that what a unicorn means? I am healing with Mom 11, 41, and my body started dying due to years of no self-love. Absolutely. And lots of abuse. So all of us, many of us have had abuse one way or another, whether we're ignored, yelled at, told not to speak. It's abuse, and it's how we handle it as adults. We have to go back. That's why I studied the breath work, because that's what worked for me. I am seeing you for the first time, just subbed. Hi, Drya. Drya love. You go through struggles off camera. No one's escapes. You go through struggles off camera. So I'm not sure what that means. They think the power is going. Wait a minute. Where'd that go? Where'd that message go? They think the power is going to church. That's why they're miserable. Well, they're still lying to themselves of that they're unhappy. Okay, so we got to get back on track of the fatigue. Oh my goodness, love you already. Oh, thank you. Tom, you're like Phoebe meets Tom Huddy, okay? Some people go to the gym without building muscle, and doing some boxing won't, and some boxing won't work. You like to be in control. Why there's no ring, and dislike Jesus. He tells women to submit. Hey, how do you know Jesus or God isn't a woman? You know, and guys came in and controlled us women because they knew God was a woman. That's what I'm thinking. women are finally taking their life back. You ever wrote on black paper with a white pen? I actually have. I have a child, so we do a lot of crafts. Okay, so back to who would like to have more energy? Well, if you notice that all the men that are in control about the religions, all the different religions are men, and in the olden days, women were not allowed to talk. I mean, come on. How do you know? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding about God, all right? God is light and love, energy. That's all God is. God is love and light. So what I learned to have more energy was through breath. Hello again. Who is your favorite philosopher? Well, it's not Sigmund Freud, I'll tell you. He's got a lot of weird things. What's the highest you would skydive from? I went skydiving. I wouldn't skydive today, but I did go. I took my girlfriend. We would do crazy stuff. Wanted to go swim with the sharks, but skydiving, I did it in Corona. I don't remember how many feet it was. So wherever the plane took us. So we're talking about fatigue, unmotivated. How many of you are unmotivated and would like to know how to have motivation? So to let you know, when people are unmotivated, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They don't understand why. I don't know those answers. So to who was the first brave person to try math? Do you know that all the people that I know that did math were not motivated? They like to take things apart. So that's the wrong kind of motivation. Doing drugs. Why not get to, I know people do coffee and soda, but that stuff didn't work for me. I had to literally learn how to have energy by eating healthy, making sure to go to the bathroom every day, mind thought, exercise, and then when it wasn't working in the last 8 years, it was all the emotions that were unprocessed. How long have you gone vegan for? Every dry fasted, how many days? It was a long time ago. It didn't do well for me. I found that eating raw vegetables at the time, I think I went like 6 months. I was eating rice and vegetables cooked and raw, but at the time, raw vegetables were not working, and something in my body wasn't breaking things down at the time. Now, what I found is unprocessed emotions, and this is what I teach. When you've tried the diet, changing your diet, doing the detoxes, and you still feel crummy, you've changed your mindset, you do have the job you love, you're self-employed, and everything's working. It could be you haven't processed your emotions. And when you process your emotions, you start realizing that stuck energy is blocking you from living the life you love. So that's where I went. I already was doing everything right. I exercise every day. If anything, I was exercising too much, which I stopped working out 7 days a week. And she fought a woman over the last jar of mayo. The mayo looked like you. The mayo lady looked like you. Where were you that day? Did you get my mom's mayo? Now, I don't eat mayonnaise, so that's not me. So, no. So energy comes from, you have to take charge of your own body. And nobody has to be tired, unmotivated, exhausted. I talk to people that are like, the doctor told me I'm going to be fatigued for the rest of my life. Chronic fatigue is a thing. No, chronic fatigue is they haven't discovered what is going on with the body. When you learn to communicate with the body will tell you what's missing. I was having panic attacks when the doctor told me, there's nothing wrong with you, it's in your head. It was a magnesium problem. Yes, because could the tortoise still beat the hare if they were both in Corvettes? Yeah, because the hare gets distracted because it has ADHD and it goes off looking at other hares and chasing the other hares. while the tortoise is more focused. Where does energy originate from? It originates from the body. If the body is getting poisons, it's going to be lacking. It comes from what you believe in. Also, will you be my future ex-wife? No, I don't believe in being an ex-wife. So, is there anybody struggling with motivation? Does anybody, when you're tired, when people are tired and they're not happy with their everyday life, that's going to drain the energy. How was the very first straight edge ruler made straight? That's not what we're talking about. People don't remember minerals and vitamin deficiency. Yeah, I had, well, a lot of the foods, even though I eat clean, I eat a lot of vegetables, cooked or raw, I feel like I'm better off. For some reason, like raw garlic and raw onions, I was allergic to it 2 years ago. I figured my body's not processing. Are they heartbroken? Lots of laugh. Are they who heartbroken? Subbed, love your good vibes. Thank you, Chillin'. Chillin' the West. Stephen, weren't you just here? Can you tell us what your solution is? What solution to what? To the energy? I'm bringing you real topics. My question could make you famous. I got to look at what the question was. People don't remember. So the minerals. So I take minerals every day. But so back to the, you guys are talking so fast. I was on life support for 3 weeks. Oh my God, Bob, are you doing better? They are intentionally trying to keep you distracted. Yes, the energy and motivation. I can get out of bed. Life has become a chore. So this is why I guide people to communicate with the body. Had I not communicated with my own body, I would have not known that I was magnesium deficient. A lot of people that have restless leg syndrome, or their body doesn't relax at night, not your mind, but just the body. It's magnesium. And it doesn't mean that, talk about louche. I don't know what louche is. And I'm talking about fatigue, unmotivated, and tired. Bob, I can eat raw onions, ginger. My mom can too. And you can smell her. She loves raw onions every day. Every day she's 80 years old. She eats raw onions and garlic every day. She loves it. And people like give her a hard time. Like, how come you eat raw onions? You smell. And she's like, she doesn't care. But to have motivation is a mindset. And when you eat garbage food, when you know these poisons are going in your body and you're doing nothing about it, it's the way you feel about yourself. I was in the Navy for 4 years and in the crypts for 8 minutes till they realized I could actually walk. I'm not sure what that means. Hey, Stacy, if I eat raw onions, I will die. I have a super rare allergy. You know, I get dehydrated on raw onions. I don't know why. I can't even put them in salads. I try every time and dip them in sauce because I love, like, especially red onions, but they have to be sauteed just like a little bit, like Chinese food. Can't eat raw garlic either because, you know, like one of the home remedies is for inflammation is sucking on raw garlic. And it just does not feel good on me. Did they get dumped? Heartbreak? Oh my. No, actually, mine passed away. So, and the other ones, yeah, mine passed away. The other ones, they weren't dumped. We mutually agreed that we shouldn't be together. It takes 2 years to heal from when somebody dies. Garlic and honey is extremely beneficial. Yeah, but raw garlic doesn't work for me. I know there's a good remedy with garlic and raw honey and garlic, but again, it wasn't good for me. So anybody like to have more energy and like to know how to have it? So here's what you do. I'm going to share this exercise. I do this every time, every day, especially for the new people. You communicate with your body, and this is what I teach. How to have more energy, how to have more motivation. Something in your programming, in your body is saying, whether it's your diet, it could be your diet, that would be the easiest, and that worked for me when I was younger. I changed my diet. I had amazing motivation. I mean, I lived off of 4 hours of sleep in my 20s. I mourned Ruth Bader Ginsburg for 17 seconds. Then I lit a joint and laughed. Okay, I don't know who that is, but I guess it doesn't matter. So when you're sitting on the couch and you're unmotivated, give that feeling. Do you believe that early civilizations relied on stars and planets? This is not the topic. You give that person a name that's unmotivated. I don't need reading lessons. I have a topic, Greg Nelson. And talking about stuff that has nothing to do with what my topic is keeping other people from understanding that you can communicate with the unmotivation part of your body, the fatigue, the tired, by talking. Greg Nelson, get off here. You're an idiot. Listen to Julie. Oh, thank you, Connie. So you are vegan then, curious on your diet. I am not vegan. Vegan did not work for me. What works for me is little raw vegetables, cooked vegetables, and high protein. Okay, so to have motivation, you want to communicate with your body. So just to let you know, I'm on TikTok also. This is restricted for live visibility, restricted for 10 minutes. That's weird. Spartan gladiators never had a time. All right, so here's an exercise. You're going to communicate. You're going to talk to the body and ask it why it's unmotivated. So that part of you, give it a name. So I call everything that's unmotivated, drinks, eats, doesn't want to do anything, Brittany. You hear me talk about it all the time. Muscles release feel-good hormones. Muscle release. So I'm going to focus on this. Greg, who are you taking all the way? All right. I call if I'm unmotivated, I would ask Brittany. Brittany had just the name. Brittany, why are you unmotivated? You know, I'm not going to worry about it. I need to learn to focus and get the word out. I've only been doing this 2 weeks, so it takes me a little time. Usually people will talk to me. I had it really easy the first 2 weeks. So maybe this is the 3 weeks. In the first 2 weeks, everybody was really easy and asking the questions on topic. Some people kept me on topic. So you give that person, that part of you that's unmotivated, a name. I call it Brittany. We talked about it when it came to eating, drinking. Why do we drink? Why do we eat? Why do we lay around? And the trolls will move on if they choose to. You know, yesterday was a really good day. A lot of people did my breathwork exercise. So then you ask that name, that person, that part of you. I ask Brittany. First, you describe that feeling. Thank you, Void. Describe the feeling. What does that feeling look like? That feeling of laying around. So it used to be when I was laying around, that feeling was this dark feeling. And it felt like a weight was on top of me. It was like cinder blocks sitting on top of me. And then you want to give it a color. The color was like black and gray and muddy looking. It was sticky. It was gooey. Get detailed in that feeling of being unmotivated and tired. And then you want to describe, what does it sound like? It sounded like this piercing noise in my ears. What does it feel like? It feels heaviness. Even though I said that, I'm repeating myself, but I want you to remember, what does it look like? Detail, what does it look like? Does it look like rocky, rough? Does it look like boulders? So mine felt like boulders were on top of me. Then you ask that feeling, and I would ask Brittany, why do you feel this way? And the feeling that would come up, thanks, Bodog. Thanks for all the hearts. You ask that feeling, why does it feel this way? And the feeling was, nothing works for me. No matter how hard I try, nothing works for me. And this was the feeling that was coming up of why she was tired and exhausted. And she would eat and drink. And then she would say, I don't think anybody cares about me. So you want to get detailed in the feeling. And I go through this a lot with my clients. And when they describe the feeling, a lot of them say the same thing. I don't feel lovable. I don't feel wanted. It's not that they are unlovable. It's a feeling. And this is what Brittany was saying. She said, I don't think people want to be with me. I don't think they don't love me. And it's a feeling within themselves. They don't love themselves. They don't feel wanted, important. And this is what creates them to feel exhausted. They're fighting inside their head all the time. Thanks for the hearts, Bodog. I love you too. Does that make sense? So then you ask, well, this is a lie because you are lovable. People do care about you. You are very important. A feeling of low self. So it's low self-esteem. It's in your mind. I heard that nobody likes Brittany too. So Brittany is an energy. And I mean, why do you want to look a certain way rather than improving our character? I don't know where that's coming from. Nobody's talking about looking a certain way. So this is about feelings and giving that person motivation. So you ask that feeling. Now that I've asked the feeling why it feels this way, ask how to let it go. And for each one of us, it's going to be a different answer. A lot of it comes from the same. This is why I share how to do breath work. I don't have Instagram. I don't use Instagram. I'm on TikTok and I'm on YouTube. So, you want to ask. You want to ask your Brittany. You can make it anything you want. But ask Brittany. You're Brittany. So I would ask Brittany, what will I have to do? So because I never processed my emotions, I had spent the last 5 years releasing stuck energy. When I quit drinking, I was crying all the time. Some people can stop drinking and they feel fine. They just need to stop drinking. Not me. I had to cry and let go of all the stuck energy. And people have said it's menopause. It wasn't menopause. I didn't have heat flashes or whatever people go through. I think motivation is specific to each individual. Absolutely. Sometimes it's hard to find motivation if one is depressed. So I was depressed. That's why I drank and I ate, but it's not impossible to find it. So yeah, I went through depression. So my depression, so I do share, when you communicate with the body, you get the answers. So you can go out and listen to everybody you choose to. Everybody has an answer. Diet, change your food, exercise, mindset, walk barefoot, hug a tree, manifest, do affirmations. Trust me, I did all that. But when it came down to it, and I had everything I wanted, but when it was time, the dark side of the force is the pathway to many abilities, some considered to be unnatural and delicious. So what happened with me is some people are going through a spiritual awakening and they don't even know it. I was forced to go into this. This is my purpose. Not everybody's going to have to do the hard work that I did. And what I learned is my depression, my fibromyalgia, my autoimmune disease, my borderline diabetes, I was becoming a diabetic, that's why I ate high protein, so I wouldn't become a diabetic. My ADHD, all this was generational trauma, but that's me. So I learned this because this was part of my purpose. But some people, I had to sit and learn to process. When you sit and learn to process your emotions and ask your body, fibromyalgia is an empath side effect. So mine was my grandmother's. Once I realized that it was my grandmother and a lot of the stuff that was generational trauma, like a generational curse, or, people have cancer because their parents had cancer, their parents had cancer. I had depression, which was handed down from my mom to my grandmother, which I don't have anymore. You can change your body. And this is what I had to do through breath work. I did it for 3 years, every single day. I was obsessed. And it was kind of like an addiction. I was determined to feel good. So when I share, you may not have to do this. People just have to change their diet and exercise. This is part of my purpose. But there are some people that have never processed their emotions. They drink, and instead of processing, hey, quick question. Now, I did that earlier. Heads up, I saw a ninja behind you. Really? They're so quiet, you can't even feel them coming up. So, a lot of my clients, all they had to do was change the mindset and write a new story for their future and their present. They had to stop living a program, and then other ones had to do a lot more work. We're all different. And what I'm sharing with you is what works for you could be changing a diet, going to the bathroom and doing a detox. For me, my purpose is different. I am a healer, and I teach people how to heal themselves by communicating with the body. Because when your body isn't functioning properly, it's telling you something. I don't feel good. If you've ever listened to me, I share this all the time. The body doesn't feel good and it's telling you. But if you put caffeine in it and pop pills, lay in bed instead of listening to it, then it's going to get worse, and it's going to keep doing the same thing, but it's going to be a hurricane. And then you're focusing on your pain. The pain gets worse. Have you ever noticed when you focus on something, it gets good or it gets bad? What you focus on is your reality. We can't change the past, nor can we predict the future, and we need to accept that. For you, if your life is perfect and you're perfect health, that's great. My purpose was I had to learn the lessons to heal my past. So, and if I didn't go into my past, I wouldn't have known that it was generational trauma. My pain is gone between releasing and healing the generational trauma and doing the breath work. It was the breath work that brought me to the attention that my pain was my grandmother's pain. And when I looked at it, when I was being unmotivated, I realized I was being like my grandmother, something I feared. I'm like, I will never be my grandmother. Never say never. And once I realized some of those words, never say never, because, you know, it happens. When you say you will never do something, it's like you say you'll never cut your hair, and eventually you cut your hair, right? You'll never go back to that person, and you go back to them. So I don't say never. I'm going to wait till it happens and life changes. And needless to say, I said I'd never be a millionaire, and I'm still not a millionaire. I'm still waiting for it to happen. I know it's going to happen. And we can change the past. So I have gone into the timelines and changed the past. I had to change and heal karma, my past life experiences. And again, because of what I've gone through, acceptance is a long process. It is. I had to accept that a lot of things and open my eyes. And sometimes we are blinded by things that are going on in our life. We can't see it. I have this funny, have you ever read something and you can't see certain words? Like you can't see the word not. Like you are blinded from seeing the not. So yeah, I had a problem reading. And don't. It's like those two words were invisible and I would never see it. And that's probably why I failed tests. I went to the store today all by myself. Good. If you say you will do something, you won't though. I do everything. When I said I'm going to heal this, I'm going to work on it every day, I absolutely do. I take my vitamins every single day. And vitamins aren't always as good as we think they are. Does it go? Human beings don't want to become conscious unless it is a risk to survive. Yeah, it's how we wait till something's wrong. And we don't realize that we created the stories of what's going on. Does anybody here feel like they are getting solid life advice here? I'm healing through the 12 steps, but I'm open to new ideas. So I didn't go through the 12 steps. When I stopped drinking, I asked. And so when I was communicating with my body, I asked, and I put a drink in front of me, and I asked and journaled, why do I need to drink this drink? And I found the reason why I drank is because I wasn't comfortable with myself. And it's the same reason why I ate. And I talk about it quite often because I learned that the only reason I drank is because I didn't know how to speak without drinking because I wasn't comfortable in my body. Does that make sense? So I went to the root cause of why I drank instead of going through the 12-step program. And then once I healed, you heal when you figure out why you drank or eat or do drugs, you discover that you can go to the root cause and heal it. Does that make sense? We bully humanity without even realizing it. I think people realize it. Not everybody, but we realize it. Raise a question. Which of your parents' genes are said to have strongest influence on intelligence? Can't really tell you that. My whole dad's side died before I was 3. So I was with my mom. My mom's pretty intelligent. She retired at 48. I don't do any drugs. I don't drink. And I like to say I stopped eating ice cream, but I do eat 1 scoop of ice cream. You chose your downfall. Don't cry. Crying is good. So when you process emotions, all that stuck energy in your body is the anger you hold on to yourself, about yourself. The tears that I cried for 5 years because I never cried before 50. So a lot of men come on here and say, I don't cry. I was told not to cry. I'm an alcoholic, but I don't drink because I know that it's just going to be a stomach ache and a heartache and a bad day. Oh, good. So an alcoholic, I thought, doesn't ever quit drinking. So what I don't understand is why they don't get to the root cause of why you drink. Or maybe that's what they believe in the 12-step program. And I understand that anger was resentment. So there's a lot of anger that when you let go and you process emotions, you are going to release anger. People need to cry and let out the emotion. So that's what I'm saying. I started processing, so a lot of people will call it menopause. Midlife crisis, where people start tuning into their emotions, and then they'll take a cream and they'll suppress it. In menopause, they suppress the emotions. Again, instead of drinking, they take a menopause cream and it stops their emotions, which if you're supposed to cry, you're supposed to cry because the emotions are coming up, because you weren't allowed to cry when you were 5 or 8, and you were told crying is bad. So your body says stop crying. I just skipped the stop drinking part. Okay, Greg. Can you heal my soul? I'll take you to heaven. So nobody can heal your soul. You have to do the work yourself. And I know some people will go to church and they say God does this for you, but I know there's a lot of people that are still struggling. Many females, that message go. Many females in America are like this same ending. I'm not sure what that means. I think it's like the potato chips commercial. Surrender yourself to higher power. So although many coaches will say surrender and just give it, I am a healer of my own body, and I had to go through the process. When you go through a spiritual awakening, you're supposed to do it yourself to learn the lessons. Does that make sense? Man, I'd hate to hear what you would say to me, Xanax. I don't care that you take drugs. I was put on Xanax and I was put on stuff for my thyroid. And what I did, this is 30 years ago, I changed my diet. But that's me. I don't care what you do. I'm sharing with people that are trying to have more energy, more motivation, more fun and joy in their life. There's a program running in the body that blocks you from living life. Does that make sense? So I wanted to get behind and get off the drugs. The drugs did nothing. They made me feel worse. They made me more depressed. I took anxiety pill, and I had worse anxiety. And I'm like, with worse anxiety, I'm going to just I just have what I have. But I learned that the anxiety was I was protecting myself from living life. Does that make sense? But that's me. Meditation helps me listen to my inner self. So although people say that the breath work I do is meditation, I don't call it meditation because I didn't feel that I was a meditator. I am unable to sit with nothing, no thoughts in my mind. But when I sit, clear my mind and do breath work, I actually clear my mind. But in my mind, I cannot tell it it's meditation. Again, it's a trick. But I do the breath work every single day. I've been doing it for 3 years. I got a lot of stuck energy. And again, I've healed my symptoms. So I do what works for me. I do what works for me. If you want to know why a fart smells, think about your garbage. Why does your garbage smell? Why does your garbage smell? You know, it's your emotions, what you're thinking about. I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. Kendall Futon. How much Xanax can you do? I don't do drugs. I am drug free. I get into, I'm just going to say meditation. And I actually exercise outside and do the breath work. So that's my exercise after I lift weights. And talking to my inner child and learning to listen and love myself and share that love with others unconditionally. Jimmy, yes, you know, it's a lot of us are not taught to love ourselves. A lot of us are like, love everybody else, love yourself last. And it's the opposite. You've got to love yourself to bring in the healthy people into your life. I find that when I'm helping others, I think less of myself. Why do you think less of yourself, Jimmy? I mean, you're helping others. Thank you, Grass. I'm actually on YouTube also. I'm cheating. You've got to ask yourself, tune into your body and ask, why do I think lesser of myself? Why would I think lesser of myself? Because I'm helping others. Do you feel guilty? Are you giving them money? Do you feel that they don't deserve it? Why would you think lesser of yourself? Thank you, Bobby, for having watching out for everybody. Meditation isn't necessarily about mind clearing. It's just mindfulness and presence. And yes, of course. And for somebody that had ADHD, I had so many thoughts going on, like what I should be doing after I'm done with this, or why do I need to clear my mind? But I get how meditation is very important. But again, I clear the mind through the breath. And it's the breath work that helped me calm myself so I could have a blank mind to feel what the heart is trying to say. I'm still over here. Why I got an autoimmune disease after having type B flu right before COVID. Now, how can I tell my body is not killing itself? So, yeah, this is a safe place. Thank you. If you're not feeling safe, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm helping people communicate with their body to find out why they have an autoimmune disease. I had autoimmune disease. I was sick all the time. I had bronchitis like every 3 months. But for me, I haven't had bronchitis. Knock on wood, man. I didn't say that. I've been healthy the whole time. Watch what you say. I am healthy and I love being healthy. But sometimes when a person gets sick all the time, it's because their body's going to protective mode. They chose to be junkies. Now they cry at age 30. So when they are junkies, or when they have an autoimmune disease is no different than being it's like an addiction. And I'm sorry to say this, but only experiencing it, I was blocking my body from having happiness because of something that was protecting me. There's a protection going on. So in autoimmune disease, you can change your diet. There's different things. So it's not always what's going on with me is going on with you. You're doing it now by helping others. You're loving you. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. I could say that autoimmune disease could be diet for some people, but if you're constantly getting sick and things are happening in your life like they did with me, I get in a car accident, I get hurt, I get sick, then the kids would get sick, the animals would get sick. Something was blocking me from living life, and it was a part of program and energy that I was attracting. And when I changed that, I'm healthy now. I'm happy. I'm excited. And I got to get ready to go to work. When I say I think less about being self-obsessed. Oh, so you're not focused on are you saying you're not focused on yourself? They will blame everything but themselves. So a lot of people are blinded. They don't see that it's them. Again, I didn't realize that some of my friends were being mean to me, and until I got rid of the friends. And even my mom said she wasn't nice, that friend. Oh my God, thank God you got rid of her. She wasn't even nice to you. She wasn't nice to anybody. I didn't know. And it's like when I look at things, I'm like, I had to wake up, unveil the blinders. And I learned a lot like that a lot of people that I was helping, it was a benefit for me to help these people, but they didn't have any desire to help themselves. Which of your parents' genes are said to have the strongest influence on intelligence? I don't know. You asked me that. I told you I grew up with my mom. My dad died. I'm less selfish when I help others. So there's nothing wrong with doing stuff for yourself. You might have a thing that where you like and enjoy helping others because it makes you feel good. And sometimes when people go out of their way and help others, it's because they didn't get the attention or felt helpless when they couldn't help a parent when they were younger or a sibling. I've seen that when I worked on clients. Darth's mom is a drug addict. Okay, I don't know who Darth's mom is. They wasted their 20s and hit the wall. Now 30 is crying. So I have nothing against addicts. I know that they're going through pain and struggles. So, but they do have to step up if they want to get out of it. Going on a 12-step, I think, is hard for people. Getting to the root cause and realizing why they do the drugs or drink is what I help people with. I've healed my own addictions to sleeping my life away, drinking, and food. How can anybody feel unsafe on the damn internet? No kidding, huh? Stop watching the internet. But there's a program and a part of them, like all the social media people that have millions of followers making millions of dollars and they go and kill themselves, is because there's a program running that they're still judging themselves. And I wanted to let go of that judgment before I started coming on here so I could handle it. It takes one person to say you're fat, stupid, and ugly, and you believe it. And when somebody says, go kill yourself, and I'm sorry I'm going to say this is sad, but at my son's school, a 12-year-old hung herself, a 12-year-old, because a kid was not beating her, but bashing on her, telling her to go kill herself, that she's ugly and stupid for 2 years, and the school did nothing. So she's 12 and she couldn't handle it because, first of all, nobody, I guess the school knew and the parents knew, but they didn't know how extreme it is. This is what happens. Bullies can get to a person. And I'd like to teach my son, and he's strong and he knows because he hears me talking, that your life is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in research for the next 10 minutes. I don't know why they keep restricting me. I'm on TikTok too. So social media, yeah, there are more suicides because people don't know how to let go of the judgment of themselves. I learned this 8 years ago, and it still hurts when people say mean things. But I learned, was it 8 years ago? Somebody was telling me that I'm killing people because I'm teaching them how to heal. And we ended up becoming friends because what he wanted to do was hurt my feelings because people didn't like him. And you've got to work on yourself. Let go of the judgment. If you are being judged and it bothers you, I had somebody tell me something and ruined my social media. And it bothered me so bad that I couldn't get out of bed for a week. This was 8 years ago when I learned that I had to work on judging myself. When you allow somebody to judge you and you believe it and it bothers you and makes you uncomfortable and it causes you to have panic attacks, and it's like, oh my God, why do they think like that? Then you have to let go of the judgment of yourself. You're judging yourself, and that's what I worked on. So if anybody says something on here, I'm okay with it. I know that they're unhappy with themselves. Who said I'm bothered? No, I wasn't talking about you, Greg Nelson, unless you're talking to somebody else. I wasn't even talking about you. So why are you making it about you? Nobody's talking about Greg Nelson, okay? Unless you're talking about somebody in the messages. It is the entire concept of thinking. Bobby, it's okay to be afraid. Oh, I got you. I'm sorry. Other people are talking to you. Bobby, did you yank your chain for a comment? I don't know what your deal. So let those people go. He's here and he's listening. I love him. You know what, Vernon, you're losing your hair. I just started a new shampoo and I put rosemary and something else in there. I'll let you know if it works. Follow me. And it's going to take a month to see if these little hairs that keep breaking off come back. My hair's been breaking off. It's like half the thickness that it used to be. Addiction is a health problem. Wish more people would not be hateful. Yeah, it's an addiction, but it's getting to the root cause instead of just stopping the drug is what you need to go to. Because anytime that you feel like doing drugs, every kind of time you get triggered, a trigger happens, like somebody yells at you or somebody dies. I mean, if you were triggered in your childhood, something happened traumatic, and it triggers you later on in life and it keeps making you do drugs, you're not going to be able to stop. You'll go back to it 5 years later. I've seen people that quit for 5 years and they fall off the wagon because they didn't fix the root cause. It's too late for the junkies. It's never too late. I'm 60 years old and I'm just living life, and I no longer sleep my life away. I did it for like 5 years, chronic fatigue. And I believe that there's a cure no matter what. Some people it's diet. This is why I talk about chronic fatigue, tired. Yeah, Bobby kept it moving to the Greg, I'm just asking questions. If you want me to stop engaging, you just say stop and I'll stop. This is someone's mom. Darth, that's horrible. It's going to be late for your mom. I don't care if you ask, but you may get ignored. Okay. I got to get ready for work, guys. And thanks, for talking to each other. Addiction sucks. Many people have addiction. They don't even know it. Chronic fatigue is a drug. It's an addiction. It's a drug of choice, sleeping your life away. But even prescribed drugs are also crutches like other. Yeah, they are. I am drug free and I will always be drug free, because when they put me on drugs, I felt worse, first of all, and it didn't help me. I even did herbs. I did, there was an herb when I was depressed, when I was younger. I was just watching it on TV and it made me feel worse. And the doctor said, it was a wellness doctor, keep taking it. I wanted to pull my hair out and punch somebody because I was just like, ugh. But drugs are awesome. Well, for you, they're awesome. For others that have drug problems, they're not awesome. People don't feel good. My mom's on heart medicine or blood pressure medicine. And it makes her feel dizzy. And it's horrible. People, I'm like, if you're feeling horrible, why are you taking it? If it's not working, why are you taking it? Doctors tell you to take drugs. They make you feel tired. So drugs make you feel tired. So I didn't get to share. So if you're on some kind of medication, it may numb you and make you feel tired. Anyways, I love you guys. Thanks for your support. And I will be doing breath work tomorrow, a 10-minute, 15-minute. I do not feel good on drugs. I just smoked a piece of chalk. Good for you. I will be doing 15-minute breath work tomorrow. If you'd like to clear out some of your stress, this is an exercise you should do every day. When you're not letting go of stress, you're absorbing it. And as the day progresses, every single day, you keep absorbing the stress. It weighs on you. It feels like a weight. You feel heavy. That's why you feel unmotivated. Some of you, drugs make a father a very rich man. Selling drugs, yes. I'm on TikTok and and YouTube, guys. And I'm probably going to go to TikTok in the evenings and stay on YouTube during the day. Drinking alcohol is not allowed in my culture. You know, I know in India they don't drink alcohol. Muhammad, they don't drink. You, in your culture, you're not allowed to drink either. I think Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't drink alcohol. I do have to say one thing, though. The people, the Amish, I saw a beautiful video with the Amish. She was on TikTok. Answer this question before we go. Amish people, what are they doing on cell phones? Aren't they supposed to be like everything is in like the 1800s? No cars, no electronics, no computers. I'm waiting for her to get back to me, but Amish. Well, so I'm on here. So this is YouTube. I'm on here Monday through Saturday at 9 o'clock. And to release the stress, so right now it's 10 o'clock. So I've been on here for an hour. And to release stress, you want to let go of the stuck energy. But I was just curious about the Amish people. I thought they're not supposed to do electronics. Some Amish have them secretly. Well, she's doing, I loved her feed, but she was doing, like teaching about how healing and how the Amish have been doing it for years. If you had paid $2 more, you couldn't have gotten blue glasses. You could have gotten blue glasses. These were a gift. I didn't pay for anything. Who are Amish? Amish are the people, they don't drive cars, they don't work with electronics. Amish, they only wear gray, black, and blue. I mean, some of them are changed. She had some colored shirts on. Repent and turn away from sin and just from what I know from the Amish, like they still drive their horses, their carriage. Look up Amish. And but I did like her, you know, she was talking about putting cooked cabbage on spasms. That's the only one I remembered because I had cabbage. I don't have any spasms though. And she was talking about freezing. Oh, she had the freezing the lemons. Anyways, tomorrow I'll be here at 9 o'clock. I'm going to finish off the week, and I think on TikTok I will be going in the evenings at 6 like I used to. Only because it's hard to talk on both when it gets a little overwhelming. Does that make sense? The real address, Bobby, if you want to continue. I'm a trucker. I want to push this, Greg. All right, I'm going to go. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock.